Right now, the special session being called into session, as she just mentioned. Chris O'Brien joining us live now from the state capitol. Chris, quite a scene there as well.
Hey, Mark, good evening. You might hear that buzzing sound going on behind me. That actually means special session is getting ready to start. That is them calling the lawmakers into the actual Senate and House chamber, which is way in the distance behind me. And you can see there's a pretty big police presence, a pretty big law enforcement presence from THP here. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of THP officers here for this special session. Now, we don't exactly know perfectly what's going to pass in this special session, but we know one thing is for sure: it will not be very much on gun control. Even though multiple polls have shown that gun control is a very popular idea, it is not coming because the Republican Party says it's not interested. Poll after poll, response after response, and yet still no budging on gun control.
I'm not hopeful at all. I'm not optimistic at all. I just don't think this is going to happen. They've shown that they're not willing to listen to anything.
After the horrific Covenant shooting back in March, Governor Bill Lee opened up a public response form about what changes the state should make in the aftermath. By some accounts, over 80% called for stricter gun laws. Yet still nothing. I asked Governor Bill Lee how he justified not including the opportunity for more reform in his official proclamation.
You know, I think it's important that we give Tennesseans an opportunity to express their voice. That's what the portal is for. It's a public portal, so everyone can see it. All the lawmakers can see it, all the members of the General Assembly, and I've asked them to.
I also asked Lee if he felt like the General Assembly did a sufficient job in reviewing the responses.
I trust the members of the General Assembly. They represent their constituents. That is, you know, that's what they're elected to do. And so, of course, they listen to the people that live in their respective districts, and then they come together and work together with other lawmakers to decide what's in the best interest of Tennesseans in general.
Even further, multiple polls have shown a desire for more gun control.
Vandy puts out polls all the time. From what I saw, just briefly looking at it, it was a very small sample size of just over 1,000 in a state that's got almost 7 million. And the bottom line is, if you look at the makeup of the legislature, we're a supermajority Republican state.
And beyond everything, several Covenant families came together to form a new nonprofit and called on lawmakers to pass some small, bipartisan gun reform ideas. But those have fallen on deaf ears.
Well, I don't think all Covenant parents can be lumped into one segment. We've talked to Covenant parents that feel a little bit differently, that have a little different angle on it. And so I think what they want to see is they want to see movement.
Of course, how to achieve that movement is the crux of the argument. Now, we're not going to see too much actual legislation being discussed today on the House or Senate floors. One thing to kind of keep an eye on, though, is the rules. There are some new rules that just came about that say if a member speaks out of order, they could be silenced and not allowed to speak for 3 consecutive days. That would be just about the entirety of special session. The Democrats are furious about that and talked about how between that and between Republicans limiting who can come up inside the actual Capitol, the access is very slim compared to years previous.
This is horrible. This is a horrible decision made by someone who's really, I don't know if they're scared that what the people are going to say. We had 20 times this amount of people during our general session this last year. And for them to say we can only get 120 or 230, it's horrific.
And that's Representative Sam McKenzie talking about the lack of people being allowed to come inside the Capitol. THP is making sure that they are being very strict about fire and safety regulations, that sort of thing. That's not something we saw back in the regular session when all the protests broke out in March and April. Mark, I'll send it back to you.